Hello everyone and welcome to Let's Play Dark Souls. Well, with the Dark Souls 2 coming out for PC in about a month, I decided I would just go ahead and do a playthrough of Dark Souls. This is Dark Souls on the PC, as you can see, the Prepare to Die edition. This is streaming right now. I just found the easiest way to do things is just stream and just put it on YouTube later. I'm going to start a new game. Well, I'm going to go in and actually delete a character first. This guy. As you can see, neither of my characters that I have on here have a lot of playtime. Most of my playtime's on the Xbox version. I've got probably about 500 hours, I'd say, in total. Anyway, we're going to make this guy. This is going to be Chad the Butts. Yeah, he's going to be male. Yeah, he's going to be male. I was just thinking if it might be pretty funny to make him female, but that seems a little overly silly. I really don't know what a class I want to go with on this one. I was thinking maybe Wanderer. I don't have a particular build in mind, so I really don't care. Bandit starts with a really cool poison-resistant shield. I just don't like the bandit's outfit, and I don't like the axe. Kind of rather go with the scimitar, but I hate that shield. Knight's got a decent starting set, but I'd have to take out most of the armor to be able to fast roll. Kind of the same thing goes with Warrior. It's a decent set. They have to take off some stuff to get a faster roll. Pyromancer is kind of, it's level 1 class. You can just pick up stats wherever I care to have them later. I don't know. Let's go Thief. That might actually make for yeah, I'm gonna go with Thief. I don't play that enough. And even though this is just for recording purposes, I need to run in and do something real quick on the stream. Let's see. On the stream. Okay, Megan, I will give you a shout out. I'm kind of surprised you're even bothering to watch. I'm only recording this for YouTube. It's just the easiest way to do it. Right. Okay, that's all set up now. I'm not gonna worry with it. Just gonna take the best gift, Master Key. Let's give this guy a large upper body. I think I'm gonna go with that face. I'm just trying to keep the character creation pretty quickly here before we start. Yeah, we'll go with the ponytail on him. And this guy looks ugly. I really hate him already. Dark blue, because that's kind of weird. I don't really want to fuck around with any other stats, so we'll just take this guy, and I'll shut up for the cutscene.
In the age of ancients, the world was unformed, shrouded by fog. A land of grey crags, arch trees, and everlasting dragons. But then there was fire, and with fire came disparity. Heat and cold, life and death, and of course, light and dark. Then from the dark they came and found the souls of lords within the flame. Nito, the first of the dead. The Witch of Izalith and her daughters of Chaos. Gwyn, the Lord of Sunlight, and his faithful knights. And the furtive pygmy, so easily forgotten. With the strength of lords, they challenged the dragons. Gwyn's mighty bolts peeled apart their stone skins. The witches weaved great firestorms. Nito unleashed a miasma of death and disease. And Seath, the scales, betrayed his own, and the dragons were no more. Thus began the Age of Fire. But soon the flames will fade, and only dark will remain. Even now, there are only embers. And man sees not light, but only endless nights. And amongst the living are seen carriers of the accursed dark sign.
Alright, I hope you enjoyed that cutscene, because that is one of relatively few in the game. Most of the cutscenes introduce things like bosses, or are just there,
indeed.
basically.
The dark sign brands the undead. And in this land, the undead are corralled and led to the north. Where they are locked away to await the end of the world. This is your fate.
So, one of the most interesting things about this game that I was always really fascinated by is the story has pretty much all been told at this point. The rest of it is very vague and I can't really describe. It's all sort of there, but in subtle ways. There's a lot of interpretation in the story to this game. Most of it comes from item descriptions. So I'm not going to be going through item descriptions and everything, but I do very much enjoy that sort of storytelling. Most of the messages here on the ground at the beginning are just for tutorial purposes. They tell you how to play the game. I'm just not really going to be reading them, mostly. They'll probably just have... Okay, they actually do have the buttons from the 360 controller listed. I thought they maybe have keyboard buttons or something. Okay, that didn't quite jump as far as I thought it would. These guys, a lot of people just decide to skip them. It's free souls. I'm not going to look free souls in the mouth. Free souls is a gift horse, that is, whatever a gift horse is. Don't need the rest of that bonfire exactly. I've already lit it. I love this little design bit right here. Is that if you're looking up, you can see that guy up there. And if you're not, which most players would just probably come in here, be like, "Oh, hey, what's going on? What's happening?" And then they'll read the message that says "Get away." And so you just, yeah, you can run over here, get away. If you're ballsy and you have a lot of time to spend, yeah, you can try to kill that guy. You'll actually get a reward for it. If you start with the Black Fire Bombs gift, that also helps in trying to kill him. In fact, if you have the Black Fire Bombs, to the best of my understanding, you can kill him with the fire bombs. Okay, so this is where you pick up your shield, whatever your starting shield is. Mine's a target shield, I mean. It doesn't block 100%. But that's not really what we're going to be using it for. I'll probably spend most of my shielding attempting to get a parry or something on an enemy. Primarily be focusing on getting backstabs and rolling out of the way with this character. Oh yeah, I always go over there, but the only thing that's over here is a treasure we can't get yet. Go ahead and run down here. There's a little shortcut. It takes us back to the first bonfire. And then there's a trap. Leads us back to this guy. You can kill him just outright and you'll get an item from him that you pick up anyway from talking to him. So I'll just talk to him.
Oh, you. You're no hollow. Thank goodness. I'm done for, I'm afraid. I'll die soon, then lose my sanity. I wish to ask something of you. You and I, we're both undead. Hear me out, will you?
Yeah, I think you can say
I have failed
to
in
him.
my mission, but perhaps you can keep the torch lit. There is an old saying in my family. Thou who art undead art chosen. In thine exodus from the undead asylum, maketh pilgrimage to the land of ancient lords. When thou ringeth the bell of awakening, the fate of the undead thou shalt know. Well, now you know. And I can die with hope in my heart. Oh, one more thing. Here, take this. An Estus flask. An undead favorite. Oh, and this. Now I must bid farewell. I would hate to harm you after death. So go now, and thank you.
You'll notice that this was the guy that gave us the key at the very beginning.
Now I must bid. I would hate to harm
and he's probably one of the only characters that I'm gonna just let his dialogue play like that. Most of the other characters have dialogue that's primarily pertaining to themselves, unless it's in a story-related circumstance. I'm just gonna go ahead and kill him too, because why not? He dies anyway when you walk out of the room. I tried to get the two-handed parry on him, but didn't quite work. Don't get too caught up looking at the surrounding horizon there. It can be a bit distracting if you're trying to take a look at the environment and forget about these guys. Okay, that was a bad parry, but you know. You don't have to lock on the enemies in order to backstab them, and also when you go for a backstab, do not hold your shield up because you won't allow you to backstab. The game tells you to try and parry this guy. You can fight him normally. He's just a normal enemy. You can also backstab him if you prefer. Okay, so now it's boss time. It's this guy. You do a plunging attack on him right there, which you just attack as you're falling. That was a bad dodge. This guy is a little bit difficult if you're using that character like the thief. I take a little bit of distance to heal. But just kind of stay close to him, dodge out of the way as best as you can. You don't want to try to block those. He will just outright break your block. You'll notice I did a huge chunk of damage to him briefly there. The thief has, the thief's starting weapon, that is, has bleed build up on it. Bleed is a status effect that if you build up enough of it, it'll do like a huge chunk of damage in one big gulp, basically. And status effects in this game essentially work in that if you have a weapon, or if the enemy has a weapon that does a status effect, the more it's done to you, the closer you get to taking that status. So if I had poison, then if I hit him enough with the poison, it'll build up and eventually hit his breaking point to where he'll get poisoned. Or in that case, I had bleed, so I had to hit him enough before the bleed built up and would hurt him. You'll actually get a very good visual representation of this when we start fighting enemies that have status effects, because it'll actually bring a bar onto the screen that shows how far until they hit your point. This is a special character over here.
You, give me warm, give me.
That's a special crow character. You can trade items to them. You have to like drop the item in the nest, and then you have to log out and log back in, and you'll have a new item that'll be sitting there. but it only takes certain items. I'll get into more of that later.
Only in the ancient legends it is stated that one day an undead shall be chosen. To leave the undead asylum in pilgrimage to the land of the ancient lords. Lordran.